So real quick video on St. Thomas. Doubting Thomas, the Apostle Thomas, that is my patron saint. So in some sense, I am the expression of him. I'm in the principality of St. Thomas, basically. So I'm like a cell in the body of Thomas, which is like the ship of Thessaloniki. Once you become a god or a deity or a principality, the people, the individuals of your being, of your body, come and go, but you maintain continuity through eternity. Like as your cells die, like your cells only might live a week, but the principality of what they are, which would be you, continues forward. So the path of humanity, like if you want eternal life, is to either become that, so you can become a deity, principality, a god. This is the drive of somebody like Achilles, like trying to maintain immortality via fame. But fame doesn't do it, because fame just makes people know of you. Fame is not sanctification, becoming a saint, becoming a god. So you can either join one of these principalities, like by having them eat you, like join an eternal religion, join an eternal being. Yeah, or you know, I don't know. I don't know how to do this, but people have obviously done it with the help of God. You can actually become a principality itself, and this is why people call it like the patron saint of activities. Like those activities, those systems, those beings become part of that God's body, just like the ocean is the body of Poseidon. And so as that is who I am. You know, I have the certification to prove it. And this is no different than like New Agers naming themselves like Satori or Divine Bliss or whatever. They've tried to become, in the search for immortality, people touch these things that are eternal, that they're part of, and they go, oh, if I shift my identity to that, then I will transcend the limitations of this body by becoming bliss, by becoming enlightenment, by, you know, becoming the ether, things like that. These are all bids. It just makes sense, like doing what you need to do to survive a day or a night or in this life. Your soul is intuitively and reflexively doing that exact same thing in order to survive, you know, these larger day and nights. And so yeah, if your identity shifts to a principality, you escape time the same way that a cell in your body, if it becomes you, which it is, you know, it escapes the death of itself. And so being Thomas, right? Like Thomas is an interesting character. God, Jesus Christ, is the Logos, is the human embodiment of the pattern. Like, so when people are seeing the ether, DMT space, the quantum subspace field, consciousness, mind, the thing that all of this is made out of, the consciousness that makes consciousness, you know, Jesus is the embodiment of that consciousness. And so Thomas actually stuck his fingers into that. Like most people know God in these like personal ways, or interacting with. Thomas, as far as I know, is a trickster deity, but also the only person to have gone that deep into God. In terms of like going deep into God as an object, going deep into God as a thing, rather than God as consciousness. God as mind, right? Thomas actually went into God as thing because of the disbelief. So actually stuck fingers into the God flesh. And so it's like an autistically deep understanding of God as a thing. Like the mechanics of, the materialism of theology. Thomas is the saint of that. Thomas is nobody is even, like how Mary knows God in an incomprehensible way. By giving birth to God in the world. Like, that's whoa. But Thomas is another, like, whoa, that's weird. With the actual going inside of the mystery, going inside of the truth, like literally. And so that's where all of this insight about water, insight about mind, exercise, that's all from that event. The Apostle John, like, basically knew God as like a best friend. That's a unique sort of event. So all these different ways of knowing God are also all different ways of knowing God. And how they come about and all these other things. So if you look at the Gospels and you look at the ways that people have interacted with Christianity, you'll see the pattern for the ways that people interact with consciousness, or the way that people interact with truth or mind, and the result of it. So like if you have a lot of doubt, in the spiritual nature of things, you will start to conform to a pattern that is similar to Thomas. You'll go so deep into the mystery that you have no choice but to believe. And the depth is like it's like you have doubt. It's like, you obviously people understood the same thing you did just by a handshake, or just by normal, like, hey, let's hang out and chat and get to know each other. Whereas the extreme doubt that leads to materialism also leads to that type of revelation. And so that's where it comes from mostly.